big with 2 G's. I'm going to repeat that. That's big with 2 G's. So we back with another episode of the BiGG Umbrella Podcast. That's big with 2 G's. I'm going to repeat that. That's big with 2 G's, the BiGG Umbrella Podcast. And we got my man, ThaKuya, here. I'm sorry if I might have messed up your name, so you're going to have to tell me how to say that again. I was asking my man how to say this over and over. So you're going to have to tell me how I say it correctly.
Oh, yeah. You already know, baby. It's me, ThaKuya, like The Rock.
Yeah.
You get it?
Okay, so it's
That's what it
like
is.
it said, THA, ThaKuya.
Because that's the hood in me, baby.
Okay. See, so now we already learning something new. So you from San Diego, or where are you even from?
Well, I'm a Navy brat, so I've been everywhere. But you know what? I'm loyal to the soil, and San Diego's where it's at.
So what was it like growing up for you out here in San Diego?
Yeah, that's a different story. Because being from somewhere else, I wasn't accepted in certain circles because back then I was growing up in the straight gang era where there was Bloods, there was Crips, you know, and it's either you was one or the other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like you're not in the middle.
Nah. There was the Bloods, Crips, and Sureños, and you know, but it was like wherever I was at, I was claiming the opposite because we couldn't be friends. I believe that, you know, back then it's like, you know, you stand alone. You didn't need nobody's back or whatever, so you couldn't like ally up with us if you wasn't with us.
Right.
Yeah, so it was kind of hard for me, but you know, I found my way, you know, growing up through that. And
what age was that around?
Shoot, that was around 16, 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with you growing up in that lane, where did that end up taking you from being now 16, 17? You still a youngster, but now being in that type of environment, how did that affect you?
That was life-changing because, you know, once you get your house shot at, you know, your parents freak out and send you to Timbuktu. They sent me to the Philippines. Ended up going to the Philippines, man, and learned what being Filipino really meant, you know, the roots. You know,
how old were you when you went to the Philippines?
Shoot, I was about 15,
around
that age.
Okay.
So, you know, I got my house shot up around 14, 15 years old. They sent me away, and I learned how to I just learned how to navigate life after that, you know, being put into that situation where one day you wake up, you in your bed, and the next day you hear chickens, you know, cock-a-doodle-doo waking you up. Like, it was a culture shock.
In a good way?
There was good and there was bad, you know.
So from when you first like starting off there, now you in the Philippines, how was that? Did it start off good for you or it start off bad for you?
It started off good because I was fooled into thinking that I was only going to be there for a short period, but I ended up staying there for 2 years, and so I ended up going to school there. I got beat up just for being American. You know what I'm saying?
So like you said, you started off when you was over here, like you was already feeling like an outsider. Then you went over there and still feeling like an outsider.
It was crazy because, you know, that was the American boy, you know what I mean? So he had some kind of status like, oh, he's different. You know, you had the friends that looked up to you, the friends that wanted to be with you, and then you had the people that just wanted to take your head off. But it was a good experience because I got to see how people operate with having very little but doing much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was humbling. So whenever I look back, like somebody say they can't do something, I said there's somebody else somewhere around the world that's doing the same thing you doing with not even the tools that you have.
So like you said, that kind of made you even. Now when you went back, it's like, oh man, we could do so much.
Yeah.
With this stuff, and you said it took you 2 years to get back.
I was 2 years over there.
So what? So did you learn like new different meals and stuff out there and brought that back? Or what type of experience can you take from being over there? A positive experience.
Positive experience. It helped me to be more grateful for the things that I did have, you know, because even growing up here, we didn't grow up like having things that other people had. So we like, you know, I grew up coveting other people's belongings. Like, man, he got a nice car. I didn't have a car. So I ended up, doing stupid stuff like stealing cars. I ended up ultimately, I ended up not learning my lesson because I ended up doing a 10-year bid in the joint.
So that was when you ended up coming back from the Philippines. Then you
Yeah,
got back with that same crowd that you was probably with before.
I went back. I went straight back into it.
Mm-hmm.
But I did have a different mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you couldn't just take the hood out of me.
Right.
But we get older, we mature, and we learn.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's always that second chance.
So what ended up sending you to a 10-year bid?
Um, my love for cars, my love for drugs, my love for gang life, my love for the homies, you know, everything that was embodied into that lifestyle, it was my love for it
Mm-hmm.
that brought me there.
Mm-hmm. Now looking back on that, I mean, like I mean, everybody goes through everything, and now we at this place that we are because of what we went through. Do you feel if you didn't end up doing that bid, you would have been somewhere else?
I would have been dead, bro.
Mm.
Like point blank, I would have been dead.
So in a way, that kind of, I mean, I don't really ever want to say like jail saved people's life and stuff, because I mean, jail could obviously go a different route, but
Jail saved my life, bro.
so I mean, hey,
You can sugarcoat it in any way you want to, but jail saved my life. God used that as a proving ground for me, because in all my years being on the street, man, there was one thing that I refused to do, was to grow up, and that's what kept me in that mind, that mentality and that mindset of not seeing anything further than my gang, and going through those rough times, it was always me trying to get back to the gang, trying to get back to the hood. I craved that lifestyle. And it wasn't until I went into jail that I started opening my eyes, about what homie love is. Homie love has an expiration date, man. Homie love ain't about till the wheels fall off, because the wheels done fell off. You know, and I'm like, man, I did this for the homies, and I did that for the homies, but where are the homies now?
right.
So it's like it was awakening, but my awakening was more than just that. It was a spiritual awakening, and it brought me closer to my culture, my community, and it made me have to look at the people that I hurt in the face. One of the first things I did when getting out was making amends, with those that I did wrong, those that I hurt, those that I jacked. And that was a crazy thing for me, because some things you just let bygones be bygones, but
Right.
when you're the one that did it to them, it's different. The trauma that you cause, that they can't get over because they haven't sought closure.
Right.
And sometimes seeking closure means that you have to be in that dude's face and be like, man, what's up, man? Remember when you did this? And it's like, it's a different experience, man, when you,
And they tell you like how much that hurt, or how it
Bruh.
affected them.
and you just didn't know because you moved on. You go, man, it happened. My bad.
I thought you was cool. I thought it was cool after that. Like, we ain't talk about it, so I thought it was cool.
Yeah. So one of the funniest situations, I was at a funeral, and so at the funeral, a couple of days before that, my brother asked me, "Hey man, you ever get hit up by people that you done wrong?" And I said, "Yeah, a few times." And he goes, "Yeah, man, there was this dude woofing about you did this and you did that." He goes, "I was just wondering," and he happened to be at the funeral, and I was like, "Damn, what are the chances?" So I go, man, let me holler at him. I want to apologize. And then I approached him. I said, "Hey, man, I want to ask you something. I want to tell you something." And he goes, "You want to talk to me, homie? Let's take it outside." And I'm like, "Man, this is a funeral, man. I ain't trying to get into no squabble."
Yeah.
But I was there with one of my friends and my brother. And I told him, "Man, whatever happens, just let him have his. If he swings on me, he swings on me. I'm going to let him have it." So we get outside, and he goes, "Man, every time I see this, every time I see that, it brings me back those like shoot, like 25 years ago when you stole my mom's van. And I'm like, what, homie? 25 years ago and you still pissed? He goes, bro, I ain't got over it, man. Because you were my homie. You was my friend. We used to do drugs together. We used to do this. And then you did this to me. And I've held on to it ever since my dad passed. And I'm like, bro, can you forgive me, man? And if you want, you can go take your pound of flesh, bro. I'll give it to you. He paced back and forth, man. I'm thinking, man, this dude's gonna lay me out.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, man, I'll forgive you. And that right there, you know, was a kind of like the turning of the heart, bro. That mercy, that grace that you don't deserve, but is given to you, and just a reminder for me that, you know, how God works, you know, because I've lived my life, you know, I don't go out there preaching, you know what I mean, or teaching, but I share what God has done for me, and He's gotten me through the trials and tribulations that I went through in my life at the hardest times that I had nothing. I didn't have a friend. When I was in my dark place in those cells where I'm like, man, I might not even get out. I was taking chances doing stupid stuff that like where they could catch me a life sentence, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like He was still there, that at the end of the tunnel, you know, that light flickering.
Right. What kept you, I guess I want to say, like, what brought you to that spirituality that you wasn't at before?
It happened one day when I was contemplating, like, man, when does this end? I'm already locked up, but I'm still taking these chances with these drugs and all these other things that, you know, you partake in while you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you locked up don't mean you don't have access.
Right.
You know, things just cost more because it's more of a commodity.
Mm-hmm.
So you still get it, but it's like, when am I gonna learn? I done robbed myself. So when I started looking like, man, the true enemy is me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, until I change
That take a lot.
Yeah, until I change what's going on in my head, things ain't gonna change. You know, one of the craziest things that my dad told me that I always laughed at until I ended up saying it to somebody. You know, one of my bunkies, he was kind of like a bank robber type dude, and says, man, I got another lick, bro. If you down with it when you get out, I'll be ready. And I said, man, look at you, bro. You ain't changed. And he goes, nah, man, I'm gonna do it different. We gonna do it like this. And I said, bro, I don't care what you do different. Wherever you go, there you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started laughing, man, because that's what
your dad said, huh?
My dad told me that, and he goes, it doesn't matter we send you to the Philippines. It doesn't matter we send you to LA. It doesn't matter where you go. Wherever you go, there you are. Mm-hmm. If you ain't changed yourself, you bring that with you.
Mm-hmm. And then that really impacted you. And then, like you said, now my dad used to tell me this. Now I'm telling somebody else. So it's like, this is really now clicking for me for reals.
It started clicking that these little sarcastic sayings that he was saying, he was speaking truth.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, you know, being young, you don't listen to anything your dad say until you end up using the same words.
And you're like, damn, I should have listened back then when he was telling me this. What veered you away from doing the drugs and selling the drugs?
I didn't want to spend my life in there.
Mm-hmm.
I spent, you know, that was probably around my 7th year in, and I'm thinking, man, if I continue, I'm gonna catch that life sentence. And I escaped it while I was on the street, and I'm gonna catch life in here over some BS. I said, nah, man, I need to seek a higher path. And so, you know, I've tried I looked into other religions and stuff like that. Cause the thing is, I didn't fear God, bro. You know, I didn't fear the punishments, you know,
repercussions.
Yeah. I didn't, it's not that I didn't think that they were real. I thought I was just gonna go to hell. So I was cool with that until you learn, until you acknowledge, until you feel what hell could be. Being in prison, being lonely, being separated from those you love. If that was hell, then imagine what the hell fire is gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
If it could burn off your skin and then your skin regenerates so that you can feel the punishment of going through it again for eternity. And I said, I'm not ready for that, and I'm not down for that. All the time that I said, man, I'll go to hell then, homie. I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I woke up and like, how could I save myself? How could I get out of this predicament? And that's when my mind changed.
That's deep. Like you said, like you really looked into yourself and said it's time for me to change.
Right.
And that's bigger than anything, because a lot of people, they're gonna always say the problem is this, that, the third. It's never me. I'm never the problem. But when you actually look inside yourself, like your sweater say, we all ugly.
We all ugly, man. Yeah.
So what I'm saying, like that already speaks volume within itself. It's like when you look into yourself, it's like we all got our shit that we got going on.
Right. It doesn't matter. Like I tell people all the time, you know, because they always like to refer to your Instagram or your Facebook or whatever, and they say, "Man, you doing good, you doing that." I said, "Bro, that's a highlight reel, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that is a facade. I mean, if you know me, then you know me,
Right? And you know what I'm really going through.
There's a lot of things that people go through that they don't broadcast, man, because it's not for everybody to see.
Exactly.
But when you get personal with somebody, just like this situation right here, you asking questions, seeking the answer, and the answers is stuff that you don't see on those highlight reels.
Right.
You know, the dirt, the grime, the crime, the tears, the heartbreaks and stuff. You know, when somebody tells you about what they've been ashamed of, it becomes personal.
Mm-hmm. So is that like kind of what brought you? I guess because now we kind of going back. We gonna be kind of going back and forth with this shit no matter what. But now with the nonprofit that you got going, what sprung that?
Well, it was a friend of mine who had gone through the situation of that happening to one of his.
And what's your nonprofit called?
It's Team Only Stronger, or I Am Stronger on Instagram.
For sure.
You know, it's a collaborative effort, you know, but it's my boy Gary and his daughter. It's their willingness to be out there and speak for those who can't speak, to be that hero. You know, they ain't playing victim no more. It happened to them. You know, they in that phase to where, you know, we want to help now, and so that's where I'm at. I'm carrying that banner with them so that we can have more people shake those chains off that been holding them back because of the shame that they've been dealing with. You know.
And what is it a nonprofit based on?
Where is it based?
No, what is it based on?
It's based on sexually abused children.
For sure.
And so nobody wants to touch that. Nobody. When I post it or whatever, you don't get no likes for that, bro, because nobody knows how to respond. But what we do need is the support, you know, support from the community, support for people that's been through it, support from people who haven't, because they haven't. That's why they should support. You know, if you see the things going on right now with Balenciaga and stuff like that, these things are coming to light, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to normalize pedophilia. They're trying to normalize.
I feel like it might have been like that for a long time, though.
It's been that way. And so now things are coming to light. So now things like this need to be in place where we can be the voices for those who live in the shame and who don't know how to speak out.
Because like you said, like they'll more so see it like, I don't want to put my family member out there. I don't want to put myself out there and let people know. But like we was talking about earlier, it's like it's less about putting somebody out there and more about just conquering your demons that's holding like you them chained on you.
Yo, it's about freedom.
What brought you to the point of wanting to help so much?
When it was brought to me by a really good friend.
And it doesn't even have to be just a nonprofit, just like you wanting to help people, period.
Well, it was when it was brought to me, it was a story of a crushed man because of where he felt his inadequacies of protecting his child, and brought him to thoughts of ending his life and giving up the fight, you know. And that's what really first caught my attention. I said, man, he must to be in that situation, your mind has to be somewhere where it has given up, that there's no light, there's nothing, and you want to feel something. You numb, and you just want to feel. And I felt his pain, and so I had to reach out, and I said, man, how can I help you? And he was a stranger to me, but now he's like, he's family.
Right. So for you to like actually like you said, you felt his pain. Did you feel like that at some point in your life?
I did. I did, man.
And how were you able to come back? Because mental health is major. So like, how was you even able to come back from feeling from that?
It's one of those demons that you just have to fight all the time. Sometimes it rears its ugly head, and sometimes you create defense mechanisms, man. But for me, my strength is in Jesus, bro. And but sometimes you get weak, and sometimes you think that way when you by yourself or when the world is crumbling around you, and you just need that. And I just look for the light, man. I look up and try to find his face, man. And that's what keeps me going, because I got more to live for than myself. And that's what brings me back.
That's powerful. That's something higher than yourself that you could always look upon and be like, okay, I got more to go for.
Bro, I think, when we think of ourselves alone and see and think about, the things that we accomplish or we haven't accomplished, these are weights that we bear, but when we let go and we give these things to God and know that we're not alone, it's that being alone that scares people. It's that being alone that drives people to the edge.
Right.
And so
having to face yourself.
Yeah. So I even got it tattooed on my hands, let go and let God, as an act of surrender. When these things that I'm holding on to, like get the best of me, I just snap and let it go, because I can't bear the weight.
So that's something for the higher power that's gonna have to, like you said, let go.
Exactly.
What brought you to then being in a biker club? Like how hard is it to actually put together a biker club?
Well, it's just getting together with your boys who have the same enthusiasm for the things you do. Like I could start any kind of club. It could be me like shoe club, tattoo club. But the thing about this club, which is Section 8, came from Hawaii. It was a legacy club, bro. It was in honor of our founder's son, Jaden, and it came together because of the family having to come up with money. And so, the hardships that people go through when a family member gets sick, sometimes you don't have that money.
Right.
Most times you don't.
Right.
You need an insurance policy, or you gotta have some ends. And so, what do? You turn to your friends. And the friends happen to do bike washes and fundraisers to help sustain the family. And so that's why I carry it on in his memory, bro. And so the things that we partake in or support are things that are community events where you help them to like show that this is something that he used to love, and we just carry it on. So the memory goes on. So it's a legacy that we still doing the same thing. We still doing it for you.
Right. So as far as the politics go, we kind of touched on that earlier. When it comes to you even like establishing a bike club, what are like the I guess the hurdles you got to overcome with the politics becoming a bike club?
Well, you have, there's a lot of things that go into that, like motorcycle protocol and stuff, but we try to stay away from those things, by ours is more for culture.
Right. Like a community type deal.
It's spreading the love, spreading the aloha, the mabuhay spirit, how we do in a community, that's unlike your average, biker club. We don't necessarily support clubs, but we support causes and events then we just stay out the way. We stay in our lane.
Mm-hmm. What type of events do you guys do for the community?
Anything that has to do with like cultural, like their dance events. In Hawaii, hula is a really big thing
Right.
amongst different Polynesian cultures. This is what brings people together. It's the telling of stories through dance. You know, um, we do events for like cancer. People that are going through. We help raise funds. So it's like it really for us. It's something that it's we love the motorcycles, but mostly it's about the community.
Mm-hmm. How long has it take for you to get your bike to where it's at now?
I got a new bike, so
Oh, so this is a brand new one.
I got a brand new one.
Uh-huh.
But it's coming along fast.
And is this the bike, like this is the one you set like you wanted, or is still another bike you want?
No, this is the one.
This the one.
So I'm gonna put some money into it. I had one that you have that one that you like and love, but it's just giving you problems. And I'm like, man, I need a better bike. So yeah,
And them don't come cheap.
they don't come cheap.
No.
But it's better to have that as an addiction than to have drugs as one.
Exactly. You found your way away from that with all positive stuff, because you're doing a lot. That even like what got you into tattooing?
Tattooing was part of that gang lifestyle, man. It's about like putting my mark and leaving my mark. But as I got older and stuff, started meaning more. It was like leaving a mark not on their skin but in their hearts. I'm not that tattoo guy where one day I do a tattoo on you and you forget who I am. You gonna remember me.
Right. How long have you been tattooing?
Now about 26 years.
26 years.
Yeah.
And did you get like the type of support that you was looking for when you started tattooing?
No, not at all. Because back when I started tattooing, it was like it wasn't like how it is. It was
still kind of taboo.
Gang members got tattoos. Prison dudes got tattoos. Bad people got tattoos.
Right.
And then when I get out of prison, they had this. They started having these shows, and these shows kind of made it more something that was acceptable in the mainstream. So now it's like, yo, you like anybody else. I know how to tattoo, so I'm gonna capitalize on it.
So now you also was kind of touching on how you've been wanting to start a podcast yourself.
Yeah.
What would that even like? What kind of podcast? Which is there something you kind of want to do and stick to, or is like all over the place?
That's the thing, man. It's like it's all over the place. But then again, that's my personality.
Right.
I mean, if you saw if like you look on my Instagram, you don't know what I am because I'm everything in one. There's not one thing that you focus on, and I don't let one thing define me. Like when you put on a tattoo page, people just see tattoos and they go, "This is who you are." I said, "No, that's my job.
Right.
That's what I do." But the things that I love, that's what I show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't hide behind an image or a profile pic or whatever. I try to be as genuine as possible. So when you meet me, it's like being on my Instagram, you already know me.
Right. Because like you said, you showing how real and authentic you really are.
Right.
It's like you're not trying to put on the facade of this is, like you said, this is my job, but this is also something I love to do.
Right.
Yeah. What was your Thanksgiving like? Because I saw your Thanksgiving, like you said, you got to have like 3 of them. And it looked good as hell. I didn't know all the type of food you had in there, but it was just looking good as hell. I didn't know what the hell that was.
We went to the desert with my brother's family. And so we had Mexican and American. So we that we had like original like borrego birria, bro. And then we get back over here on this side. Mom, she likes to do the traditional Filipino stuff with the pancit and the lumpias and stuff, but then with the turkey and the ham and the prime bread. So with the and then we had with the club had like we all mixed up, man. You know what I'm saying? We got Mexican,
Mm.
we got Asian, we got like Filipino. So we had some Cajun shrimp with some creamy corn with hatch chili with some lumpia, and then we had some. It was all
Everything.
It was so it's like an international buffet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's why when I sasaw the spread, I was like, God damn.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
It was like, yeah. I told him that because I told him I need to get on a diet after this.
After this one,
and
huh?
So you better be good. So
yeah,
we had all kinds of goodies, man.
And how did the foodie thing come about? Like, how did people start reaching out to you and be like, hey, can you come to the restaurant? Like,
just from posts. At first, people, they go, yo, man, I've been following your tattoos. Goes, man, all that good food. So when I was in prison, I was a prison cook.
mm-hmm.
And so when I get out, guess what I do?
You cooking.
I'm cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And so, every little food, whether it be something simple like a spam musubi or like a top ramen,
Yeah.
I cook top ramen like 25 different ways, bro. And the thing is, it's like you see it, you boil it, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
In prison, you make spreads, and it's whatever you bring to the table. A homie could bring some bologna, homie could bring some beans, another one bring some kipper snacks, and it's like, yo, that don't even match. Man, throw it in there because we trying to blow it up.
Mm.
When you do the blow up, now it feeds more people.
What was your top meal you made in prison?
Oh man,
that you could think of.
My top meal is when I was selling chimichangas, bro.
How the hell you making a chimichanga in jail?
So you get the tortilla,
okay,
right? You get the rubber bands from the boxers so that you can wrap it up. You get the hot
from the boxers in your drawers. Okay,
yeah. You get the hot pot, and then you break off the thermostat. There's a little plastic piece that keeps it from going all the way. You break that off. Now it's like turbo boost. You know what I'm saying? You jack some of the oil or you buy some of the oil from the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
So now you got the cooking oil.
So now you can fry this.
Now you can fry it.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's the spread. You make your beans, you make your tuna, whatever it is you're gonna fill it with. But the main ingredient is the ramen noodles.
Why is that?
Because it's the blow up, baby. Not everybody had the meat, so you put the ramen. Ramen takes on whatever flavor you want it to. So that's why I could make it 25 different ways.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And it tastes like meat.
And it tastes, yeah.
Or whatever you want it to taste like.
So I made that, and then I did this. It's kind of like a honey barbecue mackerel, but when I cook it, it tastes like chicken.
Honey barbecue.
Barbecue. So I take off all the all the outside.
Yeah.
I clean it, wash it, and then I dredge it, and then I toss it in Ritz crackers because Ritz got that buttery flavor.
Right.
Boom, coat it, then fry it in that same oil. Right. After you do that, you get your you get some honey, you get some barbecue, you get sriracha, you get your mustard, and then you get your Kool-Aid. You mix that up, you make your little sauce, and then you toss it, baby, and that's it.
That's it. And people was loving that shit.
People was loving it. I was selling like 3 chimichangas for like $5. And selling like a serving of the mackerel for like $5, bro. And I bought that thing at like $1, bro. It's like the game. It's the hustle, bro.
Yeah.
And so wherever I go, I'm hustling something.
Yeah.
So whether it be tattoos, whether it be whatever it be,
right.
If you have a product, man, and you find a consumer, you can sell it.
You can hustle and sell it.
So going inside just solidified the hustler that I was to come out to be able to do what I do.
Right.
I sell ice.
Hustle on all different.
I'll sell ice at Eskimo, bro.
What's it like, the dad life now?
Dad life, man, is probably one of the most rewarding things that I ever felt in my life, man. It gives you a why,
That's like why you want to keep going.
Yeah.
What you're doing it for.
Because when you down and out and you in that dark place, you got to ask yourself why. If you don't have a why, then usually that's when people give up. Why did you even start? Why did you even do this? What is your why? What is your purpose?
Right.
You know what I mean? So everything I do or the way I live my life, it has to be purpose driven. Because if it was me, I would give up on myself a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I be in them dark places. I be wrestling with demons, man. Demons is, you put them aside, man, but they always there. They
Oh yeah.
stalking you until you can be free from that bondage. You know what I'm saying? But I don't do it for myself. I do it for those I love, and those is my kids, man. Those are my legacy.
So when it comes to your kids, what's like basically how did you keep them from going down the path that you took?
They never knew the path.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's when you know the path and say this is an option. But if you never knew it, you wouldn't even know any better. You know, like my other son, he didn't even know I was a gang member until he was ready to write it on a college thesis. He had to do a paper, and they go, "Why don't you ask your dad?" When he was interviewing people, they go, "Why don't you ask your dad?"
Yeah.
Oh snap! I said, "Okay, you ready for this? Because I'm gonna tell you some stuff that you ain't never know, but probably thought about, but really didn't know till I confirmed it."
And was that something you kind of took on? Was like, I don't want them to know this part about my life because I don't want them to then get curious and want to live that? Or it was what was it? Why was it that you didn't want to even tell them that?
Because it's like one of those things that you just don't. It's nothing that I was ever proud of sharing. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, what would it do if I did share it with him? You know what I'm saying? He saw it in my brothers. You know, how my brothers act or how some of my friends are. But him not knowing that I was one of the ones that was running things or whatever, you know, it was never a thought that I would share with him, you know. I didn't want that to be like something like, "Oh, you did it before," or "This is how you were." No, my son grew up in the church, you know. I moved him out of the situation, and we stayed, you know, where I felt it was safe. You know what I'm saying? Where he wouldn't have to deal with that kind of stuff. You know, back in the day when we was growing up, this is what we knew. All the Filipinos lived over here in Paradise Hills. All the Filipinos live in Mira Mesa. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I moved him to where the school that he went to was close. You know, and it was crazy because I never believed in paying for education. But paying for ignorance is far worse, bro.
Right. And by like you saying that, basically, like if you would have put them back basically in that same situation, then it'd be like, now I'm paying for this ignorance.
It's just like how I had to pay to go to jail. You know, because that's where I grew up in. That's what I saw, and that's what I looked up to. I wanted him to see other children, like, you know, in prosperous situations.
Right.
You know.
Is now where you at in your life now? Can your parents or do they look back on look now and be like how proud they are of you now?
Before my dad passed away, man, he let me know that. That, man, I ain't seen somebody bounce back the way you have, you know, and you made something of yourself, and I'm proud of you. He used to always say, man, when you gonna get a real job? Because he didn't see my tattooing as a real job at first. And I said, Dad, I traveled the world already. I've been different places. I've been to different you know, areas, and it was because of it. You know, and then when he was in the hospital, when the more frequent it got, he started meeting people that knew who I was.
Through that tattoo.
Through
this business.
Through this business.
Right.
And he was like, you know what? I'm proud of you.
Was that important for you?
It was important for me.
Was that the first time you ever heard his dad say that he was proud of you? Or
maybe it's the first time I ever listened. You know, because there's things that you want to hear but never hear, and finally when you do, you know, it's like, wait, did you just say that? You know, it was surprising to me because in my culture, you know, we grow up not hearing the words "I love you."
You didn't hear that from your parents?
I didn't hear that from my dad.
But you heard from your moms though?
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course. But the father in the Filipino family never says "I love you." It's like, you see that? You see the lights? You see the clothes on you?
This is telling you I love you.
Everything they do, everything a Filipino dad does is because he loves his children. you know.
Did you get that sense growing up with you being a youngster and not hearing that from your dad, but knowing he got the lights on, clothes on your back? Did you still get that sense of same love, or it took for him to actually tell you, "I love you," for you to really know? Like,
I just had to wake up, you know, that it wasn't a verbal communication. It was the things that he did that showed. And when he finally did say it and he said it more, it was like the softening of his heart, because we heard it more when he told our kids,
mm-hmm.
you know. And it wasn't that they was incapable of it, is of the I guess the macho in the man of,
Right.
you know, when it's like in the Mexican culture, you don't hear their fathers say that either.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in that respect, we're the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything we do is out of love. Why should we say it?
Mm-hmm. Did you take on that same approach now raising your kids, or you was like, no, that's not what I'm going to do?
Oh, I tell my kids I love them
Mhm.
till they like, man, you said that already,
Yeah.
Dad. I said, man, because I don't want you to forget,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
And with your mom still being around, her seeing how your mom still around?
Yeah.
So with your mom still being around, with her seeing you, how you parent your children, is that something that she's proud of as well?
I would think so.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because see, our parents, they don't really say I'm proud of you,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But I would think so.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if they don't worry about you, they proud of you. They know you got this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, like like we was talking about earlier, we're gonna definitely have to have you back on here. But while I still got you on here, is there anything else that you wanted to touch on? Any socials you wanted to put out there? Any brand, anything that you want to touch on?
Shoot, I'm wearing We Are Ugly today. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
these are the Cantero boys. You know, it's a trip because I know their dad. But when I seen them, it was just one of those things. It's like it drew me. I'm like, We Are Ugly. What is that all about?
Mm-hmm.
And when he broke it down, it was so simple, man, that it doesn't matter how beautiful you look on the outside and what you try to show people. Is that we all dealing with something ugly inside, man. And I'm like, man, I get it.
You was like, bro, because I know how much ugly I got on inside.
Right. We all do.
Right.
But it's that's the part we don't show people.
Right.
And so, you know, when you ask somebody how you doing, everybody say good.
Oh, I'm good.
But really, okay, you good?
Man.
I'll ask you how good. Like, what's going on at the house? What's going on with your marriage? How's your kid?
Then it's like, okay, I'm not good.
And then they be like, damn, you right, bro. I ain't, yeah. I said that's another conversation,
Right.
you know? But big shout out to the team, man. I am stronger, man. Big shout out to my Good Life fams. And the thing about it is, like, people think Good Life is a tattoo shop, but it's not. It's a community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've set up spots and we have people that are international that are part of Good Life.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a collective of people that just like on that same like page.
Mm-hmm.
I can go to all these places with different shops and I'm taken care of, man. And that's the Good Life, man. It's when you build community and camaraderie amongst fellow people that like take you in as family, man. That's the Good Life.
With you being a public figure, how do you even differentiate who you feel is being honest with you or just want to get in because they see what you're doing?
Oh, because it's not about membership.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it's about membership, man, people will show you the best of who they are.
Mm-hmm.
But it's through like just being like, when I put something on the table, are you gonna put the same on the table?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's like they gotta be more than a taker.
They gotta be a giver too.
Right.
But I give first and see what I receive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, man, people that I've aligned myself with are both. They're givers and takers, you know, because it's easy to give, but it's hard to receive.
Right.
You know, people are like, no, I'm good. No, you good. No. Man, take it, homie. Don't rob me of my blessing, bro. I'm trying to give this to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my people.
Say, hey, well, at least you got people that's like, nah, man, I'm good. Instead of like always wanting to take that all the time.
Well, I stay away from those, man.
Mm-hmm.
You find them real quick, you know, because like, how about when I'm in need? Or somebody, it's not even about how about when I'm in need. It's like, how about when a friend of mine is in need?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I post a lot about like not necessarily my needs and wants, but what other people that I align
Might need
myself
some
with
help.
for that might need some help.
Mhm.
Can you help them? Because helping them, you're helping me.
Right.
You know. And it's like what? It's like Jesus, bro. It's like how can you say you love me when you don't love my children?
Mm.
I had sent one to you and you turned him away. That was me. You know, I believe in entertaining angels, bro, because they come in the form of strangers. And you don't know that was like you were kind of being tested.
They sent you that was God sending you his angel.
Yeah.
Right then and there, right in front of you.
Yeah, and you say, "No, man, get away from me, you bum."
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't turn away bums, bro. I know how it is to live homeless.
Mm-hmm.
You know, having a home but not being welcome. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, be kind is one of the things that's always on my mind. It's like, man, you don't know what the next person is going through. They might smile in your face, but they crying inside, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I just try to live my life in that way. And that's why I say it's purpose driven.
Mm-hmm.
It's to please God in any which way I can.
I know I was about to be getting you off here, but what like because we kind of touched on it earlier. What's the difference for you being a dad to a son and a dad to a daughter?
It's different, bro. It's just different. One, it's like I was telling that joke that I had seen. Like when you have a son, it's like, man, you're telling you would die for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the feeling. Like, man, I would die for this kid. And then, but when you have a daughter, the feeling's like, man, I would kill for her.
Right.
You know, and it's
No
just
question.
no questions. And it's like, so the part of the story that was funny is when he goes, well, how about your wife? He goes, well, that's not my problem. Her dad got to take care of that. But yeah, man, the difference is, man, and I wouldn't change it for the world, you know, because the experiences that the joy and the feelings that each and every one bring to your life. You know, it's like funny one day, we're driving and then I looked at my wife. I said, you know, hey, you know what? I don't know if I ever said this, man, but thank you for my kids. She's like, what the heck? Wait, where'd that come from? You know, just thinking about like, there's people out there aborting babies and stuff like that, and people who can't even have them. And yeah, I'm blessed with the ones that I have.
Right.
You know, they're gifts, you know, because it's like when you have people around you trying to conceive, and like, yo, back in the day, man, when you weren't trying to have them, they was popping out of nowhere.
Right.
Like, but then I meet a lot of people who are trying to, and they lose faith.
Having a tough time.
Having a tough time. And then you have some that just don't even care for the ones they have.
That's true.
So it's like,
that's why I'm telling you, thank you for my kids.
Thank
and
you
the fact you take care of them, like you love them, like
Yeah.
all those things with that.
For sure.
How do you keep things solid in your marriage?
God. Because, you know, we all sinners, bro. Some sins are in man's eyes greater than others, but in God's eyes, sin is sin. I even surrender that to the Lord, you know, because if it wasn't for him, my wife probably leave me a long time ago, bro. You know what I mean? So it's always God first in our marriage, in our family. He is the glue, you know, because of how people are, feelings get involved and stuff like that, and you bump heads. But when you take things to him, you know, and you both take things to him, there's reconciliation, man. God fills in the gaps.
That's powerful. That's that right there alone. Like you, like how you got God first in your life. That's major. And I mean, look what he done for you.
Like you said, from every little situation that we talked about, God is in the midst of all of it. You know, from the forgiveness from the person who want to smash me, from making it through the prison sentence, man, I'm blessed to live 2 lifestyles in one lifetime, bro. And I can't say anything that if it wasn't for God, you know, it's because of him that we talking right now.
I 100% believe that. And with that being said, It's been another episode of the BiGG Umbrella Podcast, and it's a wrap.
Yes, sir.
Yo.
Well, let's get some tacos, nigga. Can we really get some tacos? You trying to get some tacos? Let's get some tacos, nigga.